Moving across to some breaking updates coming in, Russian President Vladimir Putin's India visit has been confirmed. The Russian president's state visit to India will take place on 4th and 5th December for the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. During the visit, President Putin will hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu. So the state visit has been confirmed, and it has been confirmed that there will be, of course, talks that will be held with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President. The President will also receive Prime Minister Modi and President Putin for a state banquet. This will provide an opportunity for the leadership of India and Russia to review progress as far as the bilateral relationship is concerned, set the vision for strengthening the special and privileged strategic partnership, and exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. In recent times, there has been a lot of pressure on India because of its continued partnership with Russia, including buying of Russian oil. And of course, a lot of that pressure continues because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict still ongoing. But this visit now will, of course, be a global message as far as the strategic and old partnership is concerned, but also will provide a way forward in terms of even including the resolution of that conflict in Ukraine, because Prime Minister Modi has been speaking to both sides, both the Russian and the Ukrainian sides, about what needs to be the future. All efforts so far have, of course, not really yielded any real solutions on the end of that conflict. But let me also go across to my colleague Siddhant, who's joining us with more. Siddhant, what more would be on the agenda during this visit?
Well, this is a very, very significant visit. Is coming to India after the gap of 5 years. So this has been the tradition between India and Russia, that every year there is an annual summit where two leaders meet. So last year, Prime Minister Modi visited Russia in the month of July, and this year President Putin is coming. So a very, very significant visit. In fact, the dates has been announced by Ministry of External Affairs. So here, President Putin is going to he will also be holding talks with Prime Minister Modi on 5th of December, and Rashtrapati Murmu will also be hosting the banquet in honor of President Putin. Now, in fact, Ministry of External Affairs' release also says that this particular visit will strengthen the special and privileged strategic partnership with Russia, and both leaders will also exchange views on regional and global issues. So a very, very significant announcement coming from the Indian side. In fact, from last 1 year, we have been reporting that President Putin will be visiting India this year. In fact, there have been many high-level visits between the two countries. EMS Jaishankar visited Russia twice this year to decide the agenda for this meeting. In fact, NSA Dole was also in Moscow in the month of August, and perhaps during his visit only, it was decided that the month will be December. And now this is for the first time that Ministry of External Affairs has made the dates official. It's going to be 4th and 5th of December when President Putin will be in India after the gap of 5 years.
Yes. Akansha Swaroop, my colleague, is also joining us. Akansha, a lot of focus has been on this Russia-Indian partnership. During this process, there would be, of course, the meeting of the minds as far as what could be the way forward as far as India's role is concerned, and what could be worked out as far as the end of that conflict is concerned between Russia and Ukraine.
Absolutely, and irrespective of the fact that there has been consistent engagement between New Delhi and Moscow, Shivani, as Siddhant was also highlighting, we have only stood the test of time, no matter how divided the geopolitical climate may be, especially under the current Trump administration, keeping the tariffs in mind and the sanctions that they continue to impose with any of the oil partners, whether it is Iran or Russia. So this visit is going to be very, very significant, especially with the highest heads of states now meeting. But having said that, India and Russia have an understanding under which India's Prime Minister and the Russian President hold a summit meeting annually to review the entire gamut of ties as well. And as Siddhant was also highlighting, this is after the consistent engagement that's been taking place between the foreign ministers, the NSAs, Prime Minister Modi and President Putin also were quite a power-packed trio at Tianjin as they were accompanied by President Xi. So that momentum will only be taken forward in this meeting. But also to quickly refer to what the Ministry of External Affairs readout says, that official press release is going on to highlight how the forthcoming state visit will provide an opportunity for the leadership of India and Russia to review the progress in bilateral relations, set the vision for strengthening the special privilege strategic partnership, as I was highlighting, and exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. So two critical mutual global issues currently plaguing both the nations. Of course, one is that of how to diversify trade and move away from American dependency. Most critically for Russia, we all know that they are currently in the middle of a peace mediation effort being heralded by the US President. And both Ukraine and Russia are looking towards India to play that messiah of peace and perhaps be able to get Russia to say yes to that mediation effort. Prime Minister Modi has always maintained that this is not an era of war and the solution does not lie on the battlefield. And so we'll have to see what Prime Minister's message will be. Russia, of course, is looking very much towards global south. Critics in the global south believe that this is a conflict which is a white man's war, and this kind of approach by the US has never been adopted when it comes to other wars, whether it is in Africa, the Sahel region, Congo, or even say in Iraq, Libya, etc. So we'll have to see how Prime Minister helps in taking Russia's point of view forward. There's much of realignment happening, especially between Pakistan and the United States. So India is looking towards Russia, which happens to be a time-tested bilateral partner to New Delhi, to take this bilateral relationship forward. It would be interesting to see in terms of trade, in terms of energy and oil cooperation, also in defense, how far we go with them after these talks.
Right. I do thank both Siddhant and Akansha for joining us. Time for a very short break.